Welcome back to KTN Prime. This World Breastfeeding Week, the world celebrates mothers. But behind the quiet act of nursing lies an invincible cost, emotional, physical, and financial, that many never get to see. From porridge pots in Kayole to formula teens in middle-class homes, this is a story of sacrifice, strength, and survival. KTN's Awor Odongo investigates the true cost of feeding the future in our special feature, Mother's White Gold.
Breastfeeding is often said to be free nature's gift to every child. But for many women, especially in low-income communities, the most natural thing in the world comes at a high cost. Valerie, a mother of 5 children, has never managed to exclusively breastfeed for the recommended 6 months. Her reason is simple: survival.
Tukienda kudeliver, tunaelezewa ya kwamba tunyonyeshe continuously miezi 6, lakini unakuta manage kunyonyesha mtoto miezi 6 kwa sababu lisho si bora kwetu. Unakuta kama mimi hapa niko na watoto 4 wanaenda shuleni, nipike lunch, niwakawie kwanza, wabebe waende na shuleni, yenye napaki ile kiasi ndio mimi nafanya nini, nakula. Nikishakula itakuwa enough kwangu, yenye italeta masiwa mingi kwa mtoto wangu. Itakuwa kidogo, nakuta mtoto anasumbua akilia. Sasa kama mama nikadecide niweze kuchukua masiwa na uji niweze kumpatia.
Just next door, Sharon shares a more dreadful experience.
Nililemewa kupea mtoto matiti ya mama kwa hizo miezi 6 zikiwa zimefuatana kwa mfululizo, kwa sababu mtoto mwenyewe ukimwangalia hakuwa na shiba. Hata nikajaribu kumpea maziwa na uji bado angeshiba. Ikabidi ni ile chakula tunakula kwa nyumba nikuwe nampea, hata kama ni ugali, either hiyo omena, hivyo mboga, hizi chakula zenye si ukula za kawaida.
Cow milk and porridge are the common winning options among mothers in Kenya's informal economies, introduced far earlier than health guidelines recommended. And yet, to these women, their babies seem healthy, so the practice continues. Though some progress has been made in promoting exclusive breastfeeding, the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey 2022 shows 61% of infants are exclusively breastfed for the recommended 6 months.
Why is it so important to feed the first 6 months? Because remember, the baby's intestines are not mature. The breast milk has got nutrients that helps the baby's intestines mature. It's one thing. Secondly, as I said, the breast milk has nutrients that fight infections. But the most important part is that breast milk changes as the baby is maturing.
In the last 20 years, we've seen an improvement in the exclusive breastfeeding rates in Kenya. And the trends have been from around 13% 20 years ago to 60% as of the last Demographic and Health Survey. So we have seen an improvement in exclusive breastfeeding nationally.
Mothers in high income brackets face their own unique challenges.
It was a very difficult breastfeeding journey because I didn't know the right things to eat. So we dealt with a lot of colic. I didn't know that we should somehow drink more than we really need to eat, as much as we're supposed to eat the balanced foods. Way later, I came to realize I had experienced postpartum depression, but I didn't know.
Ideally, I thought like immediately the baby comes, like there's a whole letdown and everything that comes, you know. The way your parents talk about breastfeeding, it looks like it's so natural. But I remember even like leaving the hospital and I still didn't think I had enough supply for the baby. So it was a lot of feeding and like going along the way. So eventually when I got home, like the milk came in, the baby was formulated for a few days in the hospital. I think the first and second day I was given formula, but once I got home I didn't use it because the letdown had started coming. And then I think it was strong for the first 2 months, and then when we got to around month 3, month 4, we started now experiencing areas where I would have low milk supply, because also the baby is growing, so you have growth spurts where the baby feeds more, and sometimes you can't meet the demand.
In UNICEF Kenya's report of 2023, 34% of women experience delayed milk production, often triggered by stress, poor nutrition, or lack of support.
2 good days, I didn't have milk. So like the baby was on none, on formula.
If you look at a baby when they are breastfeeding, they're sweating on their nose. They're sucking hard and breathing. But when you give the baby a bottle nipple, the formula just almost flows out and the baby doesn't need to work hard. And babies know, if I get the bottle nipple, the milk just comes and comes and comes. They get lazy.
The total estimated cost for exclusive breastfeeding from birth to 6 months is 60,000 to 100,000 shillings.
When you look at the national accounting systems, they never quantify breastfeeding as a contributing factor to the GDP. Yet 76% of unpaid labor is done by women. You will actually, based according to the UN Women 2022 thereabout, they were saying if we can do proper evaluation and proper accounting of breastfeeding, actually breastfeeding can contribute 10 to 39% to the GDP of the country.
If a woman has a full-time job and they go to the workplace, if the workplace has a lactation room, for instance, where they can express milk and put it in a safe way for it to be available for the child later on, there is a cost attached to that. If a woman has to get flexible work hours, for instance, they don't work 8 to 5 and they have to leave early, there is a cost attached to that. So that is what we refer to as workplace support. Then when you think about a community setting, so that's really more of an urban setting. But when you think about a community setting, the kinds of costs attached is the cost related to the support from the community health volunteers who really encourage mothers to breastfeed. So there are other costs. So some of the research that we have done, especially at the community level, have effectively shown that baby-friendly community initiatives, which is the support at the community levels, have been shown to be effective in improving breastfeeding rates. So it is important for us not to think that breastfeeding is free.
But the cost of breastfeeding is not just financial, it's emotional, it's physical, it's psychological, and often invisible.
Mimi venye nilifanyiwa CS, nilikuwa na ile continuous ile kuumwa na kichwa. Kichwa inauma, mara ukiketi hivi shingo inauma, mpaka hata sasa bado I'm not okay. Unakuta shingo inauma, alama yenyewe imefura inauma. Sasa sometimes analilia hapo huko uko na mauchungu, inabidi umchukue anyonye, lakini hata nyonya ile enough kwa sababu ya pia mimi kama binadamu kama mama yake niko na ile pain.
6 weeks in, when I went to the clinic, I was told that my child had not gained any weight. And you know how exhausting that is for a first-time mom. The only thing I remember the nurses told me was, you seem to be the one who's gaining weight, but your child is not gaining weight. And I went home very, very broken, and I wondered, what am I supposed to do?
I called all the doctors, calling friends, what can I do? No milk. But I was told that the more I'm stressing about it, is the more the milk is not even coming.
As we think it is free because she will not require money to produce that milk. But in terms of